welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Chinese qualifiers. Here we've got Team Braveheart versus Newbee.M, the first game in a 2-game series. Got some breakfast in me, ready to go to round 2. We've got this third game of 6 for us here today, and it should be pretty fun. Looking at some excellent Chinese Dota from these two sides. I would say these teams are fairly matched up nicely. So we're going to see, looking at the draft here, Queen of Pain, Phantom Lancer, Bandot initially, along with the Undying Bounty Hunter, and then, of course, following that up with the Templar Assassin, Shadow Fiend bands, and the Visage and Invoker. The Invoker, in particular, I think, is very strong in the hands of 86. The Visage, Bounty, and Undying, mostly just meta bands. They're really good at finding opportunities to build momentum in the early game. But yeah, Braveheart are going to be picking up the Earthshaker Lina as their initial heroes. I think the Lina could actually go to the mid lane here, but if they want to, they can still definitely run Lina Earthshaker as their support duo, and that could leave Zeus for the mid. We're going to see Lifestealer as the carry here. It's good to go toe-to-toe against the Gyrocopter, decent against the Storm Spirit when he is not running the Orchid. Orchid Storm Spirit kind of counters the Lifestealer. Without the Orchid, it's the other way around. But we'll see. I mean, Spirit Breaker Gyrocopter was a pretty interesting opener from Miracle. Obviously, they want to make sure they have long range of initiation. They have good teamfight presence. With the Gyrocopter, he carries very well. Then we're going to see the Rubik support, and we're going to be seeing the Storm Spirit mid. But one pick I want to mention real quick for Team Braveheart is actually the Centaur. I feel like Centaur is a huge pick for Team Braveheart. The fact that they kind of lack mobility on a lot of their heroes, but that they could do so much with it. If Lifestealer gets the Stampede, he can just go to town on a single target, lock down the Gyrocopter, munch on his HP pool, and that's, I think, a really good thing. I think that Centaur is a pretty important pickup for Team Braveheart, but Newbee Miracle believe that the Earthshaker is going to be the offlaner for them, so they're going to ban out the Lion instead, expecting a Lion-Lina duo, and we'll see if they're right. But I think with the possibility of Lina as a support, as Earthshaker as a support, I could see the Centaur doing some amazing work, and we'll have to see if they want to pick it up here. But in the meantime, Newbee Miracle going into their last pick here. They've got some good initiation with the single target charge and jumping from the storm. They're going to follow through with the AoE Wombo combo, though. Gyrocopter and Enigma are going to be the AoE damage dealers. Enigma's going to really counter out the Lifestealer directly. A lot of his stuff going through the Rage state, and just overall make it so that they can play a little bit greedy here on the Radiant side. Actually make use of that Radiant jungle. Storm Spirit won't be able to farm stacks as much, but the Enigma farming of the jungle and getting that early mech or blink is going to be just that much more impactful.
10 seconds remaining.
Actually, I don't think Blink is that good on Enigma right in this game in particular. Just with the Fissure and with the Zeus damage, you're going to see that Blink on cooldown quite a bit. So I would say maybe even like a Mech Bloodstone build. And obviously Mechanism first, and then the Bloodstone is actually a follow-through that a lot of professional players have been trying out. I think it could be pretty strong here. But no matter the case, whoever gets a Bloodstone, they're going to have that good team-wide heal, and that, of course, respawn advantage, getting the extra lives on the table. Team Braveheart thinking about this one a little bit here. Do they want something that will counter the Enigma through BKB is the real question. Because essentially, they have plenty of answers to the Enigma if he doesn't have a Black King bar active. But after the BKB is utilized, the black hole pretty much will stay until Enigma dies. Or, 4 seconds elapse. But the bottom line is, if you want to be able to interrupt that black hole, you need something different. And you need a new hero that has that ability to disable through Magic Immunity. Maybe the Magnus could find an opportunity there. Maybe look for something a little bit different than that. Hard to say, but I think Team Braveheart are definitely thinking about playing around that black hole. Still, a Blink Stunner would be great. I still like the Centaur in general, because Lifestealer Infest inside Centaur, you pretty much guarantee a kill. But if they wanted to just go for the Vengeful Spirit even, and run the Earthshaker offlane, the Venge could interrupt Black Hole via another swap, so that'd be fine. Chin or Enchantress also pretty good if they're comfortable with it, but not too sure about that.
Ten seconds remaining.
Night Stalker's gonna be the last pick. Very interesting. It doesn't really fill any of the ideas that I was considering before, and they're not running as a support this time. Generally speaking, Dog 7 picks up the Night Stalker, and in this case, the Night Stalker is going to be played by somebody else, and perhaps in a different role set. We'll see if it's an off-lane Night Stalker. Obviously, it's a low-pressure lane down on the bot lane, so if whoever they throw in the off-lane, even if they're not the natural survivable heroes that you want them to be, I think they'll be okay in that 1v2, essentially.
Prepare for battle.
So we're going to go ahead and introduce the two teams now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for Game 1 of this 2-game series. Newbee.M is going to be the Radiant team, and we're going to be looking at their core lineup here. Now we've got Gyrocopter. I'll just call him Blue, as I'm not familiar with these other names. Like I know I always know 3 members of the 5, but otherwise, yeah, Gyrocopter being the carry player here. We're going to have 5400 on the support Rubik. That's going to leave the Enigma to be played by Hansu or Cold Snap. 8 GK is going to be running on the Storm Spirit, and actually going to be starting off a little bit of a clash here, but looks like they won't actually find an opening. So their other members, oh, nice Magic Bush ward here. Might be causing the Enigma some difficulty. But most commonly you just see a Sentry Ward placed around here, and that will find it. Anyways, so I was also mentioning about this guy. He has shifted his name a little bit. MUA is all I've got out of that, so that's what we'll call him other than Yellow or Spirit Breaker. Looking over at Braveheart, they're a little bit easier to read. Puerti is going to be running on the Lifestealer carry in a safe lane position. The Night Stalker is going to be played by the olive or gray color. He's got boots first, so he wants to be involved pretty early here. Zeus is going to be running in the off lane, played by Dog 7 here. So pretty interesting to see that configuration. Like I said, it's a low pressure lane 1v2, so it's not that difficult, but it still isn't the easiest lane of all time. And we'll see 86 on the mid here on the Lina, doing some good work with this Null Talisman start, and of course they made sure that she got the bounty rune too. Pretty standard. So the one thing that I'm not so sure about is we've got a dual melee support. We're seeing Spirit Breaker. Oh, and the first blood's actually going to be on the Zeus under his tower. Just Gyrocopter rotating him down with a single Rocket Barrage. Telekinesis into Rocket Barrage and the right clicks. That's pretty much all you see there. 409 damage from an incredible spell that just is really, really good in terms of damage output. Along with that, you have to consider the fact that Zeus only has 295 movement speed, and the Gyrocopter has 365 with the boots. So just able to run him down, basically. And we'll look towards Magic Stick and then the phase boots. They do go ahead and open up this camp, though. They place out this Sentry Ward knowing exactly what they're looking for. They're not worried about any wards in this general area here. So just kind of taking out what they need to. We'll see Shure coming in from the side here. Looking for the Fisher, lockout on the Storm, but he's safe under tower for now, and it's just going to waste the Earthshaker's time. And yeah, the Night Stalker's going to duel it out here with the Spirit Breaker. Pretty much a man fight right now. No bash available for the Night Stalker, or for the Spirit Breaker, since he is level 1. And Night Stalker says, okay, well, I'll take advantage of that and just keep trading hits. 5 armor and 700 HP versus the 5 armor and 600. One has a stout shield, one has slightly more right-click damage, but in the end, the Night Stalker still goes for that exchange, just taking out his regeneration, but now out of tangos completely. I feel like that was a bad trade personally, but his extended play to make. In the meantime, the Enigma farming up 8 last hits, not really having too many issues here in the jungle. And I would hope that the Radiant see this hasted Earthshaker. Jeez, he's sitting in the middle of the lane. So we're going to actually see action up top here. Going to see the open wounds and the void come out, but with that void there is no mini stun, so they can just go ahead and charge away, and that silence doesn't prevent him in time. So all in all, not much going to be happening in this top lane, and I really do feel like this Night Stalker is a pretty weak support pick. Like, yes, he's a hero that you want to have on your team, but they kind of just threw him into this laning sense without actually thinking about the impact he would be able to make. Essentially, he can do nothing to zone out the Spirit Breaker. The Spirit Breaker trade hits much better than the Night Stalker can. When he's trying to zone, he's not pulling, so he's not getting experience for himself. And yeah, in general, you're picking another melee hero, a third melee hero, into a Enigma who loves to capitalize on AoE. Same with the Gyrocopter. So all in all, they're really just picking up Night Stalker as a crippling fear, and I feel like the Skywrath Mage could have been a better substitute. The Skywrath Mage would have zoned out this Spirit Breaker a lot better, and of course he would have been able to silence out the Storm Spirit just as easily. So, a little odd. We see the Zeus falling once again. Just another play, this time with the Phase Boost plus Rocket Barrage. Anytime you get caught by the Telekinesis, you're dead as this offlane Zeus. We'll see a bash come through onto the Earthshaker. There's no mana for the charge, but now there is actually. He has enough with this regen rune, and if he had vision, I think he would have gone for it, just for the fact that it's free mana and a low cooldown. But still, going to be seeing the Soul Ring come out on the Enigma, building himself up pretty nicely, and as you can see, Radiant have a clear advantage here with their extra jungler. Their bottom lane is winning out over the Zeus, getting kills against him because Dog 7 keeps on coming out to try to get experience. He's only level 1.5 right now. Oh boy. But yeah, I mean, if the Zeus is losing out this hard bottom, they're not really getting that much done top. You're not getting as much comparative last hits as a Gyrocopter, and you're not zoning out the Spirit Breaker hard enough as he's the level 3 now. Yeah, I just feel like they've pretty much lost all lanes but their mid. And unfortunately, that's kind of become a thing that I've kind of witnessed a lot from Braveheart, is a lot of the times they'll win their mid lane hard without even trying, because 86 is actually really talented. But their side lanes always suffer, always show weakness, and I think it comes down to the draft in this case. Now they see Dog 7 going down for the 3rd time, and he is still, of course, level 1. He gets boots, but now Rubik has boots of his own, and he's still finding those telekinesis. Telekineses? Okay, whatever. Gonna see Spirit Breaker stalking up on the mid lane here. The Fisher gonna come out just a little bit late, though. The charge still connects, and they are in a great spot to bring down 86. Their only hope for this game is taking a lot of damage, but he will survive. Look to turn it around. Dragon Slave and the Laguna taking down the Spirit Breaker easy. So, getting the first kill on the board. 86 survives, turns it back around. Good movement from him. So what we're going to be seeing is instead 1,300 gold in favor of Newbee.M, about 2,000 experience. They again still have that jungle advantage, still finding extra sets of last hits on this Enigma that the Night Stalker and Earthshaker obviously can't farm. There is, however, an Invis rune on the Earthshaker. Maybe finding an opportunity where he can kind of stand right here, Fisher block across, and frustrate somebody to no end, but it's not going to work against the Storm Spirit. The Storm Spirit can only really be locked down truly by the Crippling Fear. There's a chance that an early Yules from 86 could set up some Yules Lightstroke combos, but that is a very tiny timing window of trying to prevent the ball lightning away. Delina has to perfectly execute with that Yules combo, and otherwise the Storm Spirit gets that easy zip out. Still, Lifesteal will get some free farm up top here. No pressure coming out. And actually, Spirit Breaker walking into the wrong part of town here. We're going to see the Void come out. The Cripple to follow, most likely. No, he just goes for the TP and gets Fishered out. Now they have to cripple him to prevent the charge. And they still deliver some right clicks, but can they get the last Void? One more Void will bring him down. And that is going to be the kill they definitely needed to make this support duo worthwhile. In the meantime, Lifesteal infests himself back up to full HP and keeps the push alive. While down bottom, we see the Zeus is still trying to get some more experience. He's level 2. 2 and a third. Trying to see what he can do, but 5,400 is making his life pretty miserable. I figure if Rubik went for Tranquil Boots, he could even find another kill on him. Just kind of going in for a surprise attack, that extra boost in movement speed over Zeus, but... And we're just going to see that Brown Boots will be fine, and they'll get the Telekinesis lift once again. Call down, Rock of Barrage, the level 3 Zeus will be falling. And I just got to question the decision to put him in the offlane as opposed to most of their alternatives. The Lifestealer, the Night Stalker, I've even seen offlane Lifestealer. Obviously not what they want to do with the Nyx in this game, but I just think that Zeus in general is is an offlaner that needs some help. And this gyrocopter is making that ever so clear. And the Rubik, of course, too. So, looking over at the state of the game now, 1,500 net worth in favor of Newbee.M, over 2,000 experience. Pretty much the same thing that we've been talking about multiple times already. We've got 4K net worth on the gyrocopter, 3,400 on the Lena, and 3,100 on the Lifestealer. The only thing that's really going well, Lifestrike Array going to be able to kill off the Spirit Breaker with that nice little Laguna Blade. The only thing that's really gone well for Braveheart is how shut down the Storm Spirit is. Not dying once, but if you look at last hits, 45 and 11 for the Lena, 27 and 2 for HEK. The fact that the Enigma isn't stacking for him because he has to focus on his own farm means that HEK has no easy rebound, and he lost the lane hard. It's really 86 that is carrying his team right now in this early game. He's the only thing that's really been going good for them. But still, Newbee.M are executing on a really good level, finding all these openings. Like, they're really just pushing it and making the Zeus lives pretty miserable. But they're going to get some return damage. Still the telekinesis stun. And there's going to be the call down the black hole. Not going to hit on everybody. The Fisher will lock it out, but still, Dog 7 will fall. Now Puerti trying to get some vengeance. We got the phase boots onto the gyrocopter though, so he might be able to slip out of here. He will be able to TP. It's going to be a Spirit Breaker to get locked in. The charge going to come across. And the last hit will go to the Earthshaker.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So, going to be seeing some nice jump forward for Newbee.M until that Spirit Breaker falls, but still, they're just trying to create space to get Storm back on his feet, really. The treads are really important for him to be able to maneuver with his Ball Lightning, and actually, this is interesting. 86 cornered inside the Roshan pit, and the phase boots too quick for him. He pops the drum and phase boots, and just barely runs past the Light Strike Array, so he won't be comboed up with that Laguna Blade, and he gets a haste rune now. Oh, what a rune for the gyrocopter. Rocket barraging all over the place. Call down comes down, right-clicking onto shore. He doesn't actually hit the call down, but barrage does sufficient damage. That is such a rune for gyrocopter to pick up. Oh my gosh. And ball lightning home for HEK. Now the Enigma, of course, did fall here, but still making a twofer. And gyrocopter doing some work, building himself up very nicely here. So Dog 7, desperate for some levels, desperate to get his level 6, goes up to the top lane where he feels it's safe. I'm wondering if they're going to just harass him even more, where they just say, okay, well, he's had a really bad game, we've made his life pretty miserable, let's do it again. Kind of that seems to be the mentality, where they can find the opportunity where they make a smoke play, they go for another jump onto Dog 7, and they try to bring him down. Fortunately for Dog 7, he's actually got some good coverage here. This Observer Ward gives him a lot of good intel, and he's probably not going to get caught unawares unless they go for a very interesting gank path. But still, he's going to fall back here, feeling unsafe once again. Full HP and full mana, but all the way back over to the jungle he'll go. Just really nowhere for Zeus to be. And that's what I was talking about with the drafting issues. I just feel like the Night Stalker was out of place, the Zeus was out of place. They didn't really get to use their potential on the lane. But we'll see what they can do with this next nighttime. This is going to be a nice opportunity for the Night Stalker to get involved, to start fighting, to get level 8 so he can get a point in darkness.
Radiant's
all that good
middle
stuff.
tower is under attack.
So, dewarding Zeus, gonna find things out, but an Invis Rune, oh, great opener for 86 onto Hansu here. He'll go ahead, Light Strike Ray Void, cleaning him up very nicely. That's exactly what you want to see, but there will be a charge across here, not on any of these targets, but across the map onto the lifesteal. They should see this very clearly charging through the mid lane, but he's gonna keep trucking. He's gonna keep going, and lifesteal is probably just gonna rage TP away. But no, canceling the charge, catching the Spirit Breaker on a cliff. He's now a little bit of an Observer Ward, hanging out, catching sight of any cool action, hanging out by the Ogre Club. He's the bouncer of the Ogre Club. That's all I've got, guys. I don't really know what to say. Mechanism gonna come out for the Enigma soon. Oh my gosh, are you serious, dude? See, I mean, once, it doesn't even matter, but they break him out with the ball lightning. They give him mana with the arcane boots. They keep focusing down objectives, and with the Eidolons, it's going to be pretty easy. These Enigma creeps are going to do some good job. Buckler active on them and forcing the initial glyph. See an interesting spot for the Night Stalker. He's got the Infestance item. They're looking for a rotation. 4-man movement here, but the call down comes down. Earthshaker already dead, and the two on the front line not doing enough. The Black Hole onto the Lina takes her out of the fight, and Puerti now on the run, away from the Gyrocopter, away from death, but he just can't run fast enough. HGK, really good movement there in that fight. Double kill for him. I honestly, the Black Hole was good too. Just on one hero, locking the Lina out. She was the most critical of them. So they kill off the Earthshaker immediately. They Black Hole and Malefice the Lina, so she's out of the fight. And then they just focus down the Lifestealer Night Stalker. So really great fight execution there. A little bit overzealous from Braveheart trying to defend from that angle. And it just shows what Newbee.M can do in the early team fights. Really liking this draft more and more as we see it take fold.
Tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Spiritbreaker does have max charge of darkness, so the initial stun is very potent.
Tower is under attack.
Zip-zap.
I'm curious what this Gyrocopter is actually going to be building up here. He's got the Belt of Strength. Sanjin Yasha seems to be the most probable, and yeah, looking at all the alternatives, it would be the only thing that makes sense. So yeah, going for the Sanj. We'll see him turn it into one of these three items. Silver Edge is not bad, but SNY seems to be just that. Working pretty well with that mobility build. You're looking to kite the Lifestealer as best you can. You don't want this Lifestealer to be right on top of you, right-clicking you down. So if you have one movement speed item in advantage, then the open wounds won't be as critical in slowing you down. It'll taper after a couple seconds. You'll be able to disengage, and your teammates will create space for you. So I say Sanjin Yasha is pretty important. The mobility in the fights is going to be huge for this Gyrocopter. He kind of plays like a Razor now. Like, honestly, with the Rocket Barrage being at no cast point, like, you can just go ahead and just run next to people and do damage that way. So we're going to see some good damage coming into the Gyrocopter, but the Lightstrike Ray will not connect. The mech will come out, and Lift is actually going to pull 86 back. That's an easy kill. Echo Slam attempted, but sure, getting stunned out, finally gets the Echo down, does great damage. Spiritbreaker dropping low, will go down to the Lina, and now Lifestealer trying to get some vengeance for his allies, popping the drums, getting the open wounds, but Storm Spirit is able to use the Soul Ring and Bottle to get up and down the cliffs, and he's going to be fine. So, man, a great Echo Slam to be sure, but it isn't enough to really take the fight back, and now we see Newbee.M still pushing in on this tier 1.
Tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower.
Interesting usage of the drums here. 20 attack speed is no joke, but I don't feel like it was the appropriate timing for it. You only get so many of those charges, and I'd say team fighting is much more relevant than anything else. But oh, that Fissure block! What a Fissure block coming in! Oh, from an ally, no less. Or no, that was a Rubik, right? Yeah, okay. I was about to say, there's no way the Earthshaker did that. There's no way he could do that to an ally. And yeah, it is going to be the Rubik. An allied spell is probably the better way to phrase it, but it is going to be the Night Stalker locked out, killed off. Tier 1 is going to be left at 325 HP. Gold graph, 7,600 net worth in favor of Newbee.M. And 5,200, also showing that same level of momentum.
Looking for me?
Very similar curves there. Now you got a couple soul rings out, so less HP in the fight when the mechanism is unable to be used. Maybe Braveheart could find an opening where they just focus down this Enigma, try to chain stun him a little bit, and bring him down quick. If they can do that, and the mechanism doesn't get applied, then there's a much better fight on their hands. But I really feel like that's the only way they take a full 5-on-5 is that they start it by killing off the Enigma. Other than that, obviously the Gyrocopter is a real threat, but he's got a good mix of HP and damage right now. It's not going to be easy to bring him down. And as far as items coming out for the Dire side, we're not really seeing all that much. The Lina did get a Eula Scepter. That's a pretty big deal. And the Life Stealer might be going for Sanjin Yashi himself. And that's about it. Deny on the tower down bottom lane. Tier 1 will be taken out by the Dire intentionally. And we're going to be seeing them just make their rotations up towards that top area. Now this ramp isn't the easiest to walk up to, but because they have this Observer Ward, they might have an idea of what they're up against. We'll see. The smoke breaking out very shortly here. They don't know exactly where the enemy is, and it looks like they'll just miss their opportunity. Dire still haven't seen them yet, though, and we'll see now. They'll be revealed. Going on 86, self-fuels comes out, but it only delays the inevitable, and he gets lifted to fall. So, good pickups here from Newbee.M, just really putting on this gank train and making things happen. Double damage won't be used to farm with the Ancients, unfortunately, but Gyrocopter's still going to be able to flak those down pretty well. Doesn't go for one last stack, though. I feel like with this timing, where it's practically 19 minutes, he probably could have just gone for the stack play, but oh well. In the end, he still gets some good gold out of these Ancient creeps and could have cleaned that up nicely. Looks like he actually might go for a BKB instead, the Belts of Strength being casual. We'll see Shurg hit by the Nether Strike, going down to the right clicks of 5400. So yeah, it looks like the Gyrocopter might just go back for the BKB. Yeah, has everything. Just the Belt of Strength throws us off a little bit, but in the end, is just a casual pickup for now. So a lot of that probably has to do with both how well the Lina's been doing this game, as well as the fact that the Night Stalker has that mischance. It provides a mischance of 50% at nighttime for 5 seconds, and he wants to take that off. Other than that, good magical damage from various abilities, and heck, the ability to break out of open wounds would be really nice. And Storm Spirit will be going for that Bloodstone. We'll see that coming out pretty soon here. So Porti's going to farm up some Ancients here, look for a little bit more, but I think they have to fight pretty much now. They go for the smoke play here. Lina still caught within it, but going a completely different path. Has to be careful she doesn't run into anyone alone in the woods. But Night Stalker's the one that's hunting prey now. He's got the nighttime up. He's got 3 in Hunter the Night, and he wants to make his move. So as soon as the smoke pops, they should pop Darkness, and that should enable them to have a really good vision advantage in the fight. And we're going to see it here. 5400 blinking right into them, and they just crush him immediately. What an easy pickup. They leave the Dire Ward in their wake. They see a little bit of farming going on the fringe, but I think they want to kind of just regroup back elsewhere. They really only can afford to go for 1 or 2 plays, and they still haven't used this Darkness at all. I don't know. I hate to say it, but it is very possible this player doesn't actually know what the rework Darkness does necessarily, because, like, I don't know, he's probably not as familiar with it as he could be, is all I'm saying. I'm sure he's read it, I'm sure he kind of understands it, but there are some that, like, you can tell they really master that Darkness timing and know exactly when to take the full advantage, popping it 50 seconds before nighttime breaks out, using it in the nighttime when he needs the vision and disadvantage for his opponents, that kind of stuff. We're going to see 86 take some damage here. The Fisher canceled out. Just too much ball lightning here, causing some trouble. But the Echo Slam locking in place. It's going to be the Black Hole onto 3 in the call down. And we're going to see the cleanup from Blue, the Gyrocopter, doing some amazing work here. Now they slow Dog 7. No escape for him. He's going to keep running. But the charge and the missile all in pursuit. He will be locked down. He will be finished off. And that is going to be a 4-0. Newbee.M just taking a massive fight. Finding a great opportunity there. They do get their initiation interrupted, but in doing so, Braveheart have to kind of clump up to try to help one another with their short-range abilities. I mean, Void, the Crippling Fear, the Light Strike Ray, those aren't really big cast ranges. So the end result is that they all are perfectly grouped up for that Enigma Black Hole, and he walks it in without a Blink Dagger. Just so impressive. And he goes for the BKB. Like I said, the last pick of the Night Stalker is not one of those heroes that pierces through Magic Immunity with a disable. So what it means is that if he starts a Black Hole with BKB on, it doesn't go off unless you can somehow kill him at a distance, and only the Lina's right clicks would really do that. So there's pretty much no way to stop Black Hole. other than just avoiding getting too grouped up in the first place. And that puts Hansu in a commanding position in this game in terms of initiation. Good damage on the Spirit Breaker, but not enough to bring him down. They'd have to get another Yule's combo on him to make that happen. And next items, we've got the luxury item picked up by Gyrocopter here pretty late in the game, but he's going to pick up the healing salve, and that's going to allow him to scale really well into... I'm just joking. But Sanj and Yasha probably going to be finished out here for the Gyrocopter. Silver Edge is still an option. It's not bad against his opponents, but it's not also the most imperative pickup. Shadowblade definitely going to be coming out from the Spirit Breaker, trying to cover his Charge of Darkness with a little bit of Lothar's Edge. Bloodstone complete for the Storm Spirit. Blink Dagger obviously up for the Rubik. He's looking for Force Staff next. And Enigma here, still saving gold. Oh no, he did buy the BKB here. So up top here, we've got the Spirit Breaker getting cut out by the Light Strike Array. There's the Laguna Void, and that's going to be a kill. But 5400 comes in with his own Laguna Blade and turns it right back 86's direction. Now QWERTY without a Rage cannot TP. I'm not sure why he didn't just TP, but now he goes down. Yeah, in this situation, I guess the Nether Strike was too close. The buyback of the Spirit Breaker got him back to the fight, but I really feel like he could have TP'd during that Rage. And the only thing that would have stopped it would have been the Nether Strike. But as it is, he goes down. It is a 2-for-1 with a buyback on the Spirit Breaker that proves unnecessary.
Double damage.
And is he on a cliff again? No, he's farming the neutral creeps with a 60% income reduction. Ah, oh, that juicy 6 gold. And he waits for the timer to fall off before he goes for the next last hit. Alrighty, so HGK looking pretty good with this 9 charge Bloodstone. Looking for the next big opening. Gonna go for a BKB himself. And they'll just push on the mid lane. There's nothing to stop them now. If the Gyrocopter is with them, they have everything they need. They can just go in and absolutely tear face in the next team fight. So they go in, they'll take this tier 2. They can immediately rotate top and take that tier 2. Even without like Aegis or any other temporary asset to make their team fight stronger, they're just naturally stronger right now. When they have their ultimates, when they're moving together as 5. So yeah, why not? Really quickly Deathball 2 towers. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. They don't give any real time for Braveheart to do anything else, and they'll even send the Eidolons to scout the pit, so 86 can't actually do that himself. He may still try though. It looks like they're kind of moving in. And we'll see, is it going to be a base race play? Is it going to be a Roche contest? Newbie Miracle have a choice to make. They're going to give them the Roshan, and they're going to see what they can do to the high ground here. Glyph of Fortification still available on the tier 3s. Braveheart have the Earthshaker smoked up, looking for an Echo Slam. No Glimmer Cape to put him into the fight. No Blink Dagger, no Force Staffs. He pretty much just has to run it in. Like the Orc from Helm's Deep, he'll go in and just try to suicide for an explosion. One big bang. But the tier 3 has already fallen now. Gyrocopter a little bit tentative, but they're still taking down Roshan. Finally getting the Aegis here on the Lifestealer and getting some good golden experience on him too. But Gyrocopter still in the front line here. Do they fight 5v6 with this Aegis? Oh, there's going to be Thunder God's Wrath doing some good damage. Force Staff out with the mech. Falling away, they'll be fine. Now we see QWERTY getting caught out here. Going to get the Rage off just in time, but right into the black hole. 3-man black hole from Cold Snap. Beautiful play there. Double buyback. Aegis respawn, but it still only ends up being a 5v4. At the end of it, HGK taking some damage. No Bloodstone Suicide coming out. He just gets silenced and locked down. Spearbreaker cowers in fear inside the amulet, waiting for the charge. He'll charge across onto 2 heroes here, trying to help the Gyrocopter turn it back around. Flat Cannon coming up in 5 seconds, but for now, the Rocket Barrage, the right clicks, bringing down the Night Stalker. Rage from the Rubik, disengaging from the open wounds. Cold Snap will fall here, but they're trading so many good kills for it. Godlike double kill for the Gyrocopter, looking for a triple, and the Force Staff peels them away. Oh, amazing Force Staff from 5400. Keeping the Gyrocopter alive, and that gets him a godlike spree and a triple kill. Now looking for the last hit. The Fisher Steel kills offshore, outplayed to the bitter end here. They make this kill score 30-11 with the GG coming out. Oh my. Newbee.M just executing perfectly. Don't even care about the Aegis. They do not need the Aegis to win those fights. They knew how far ahead they were, and they hit the perfect black hole to just show what they can do. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Newbee.M taking a well-deserved victory here in Game 1. Well, this is the iLeague group stage, guys, for the Chinese qualifiers. Thanks for tuning in once again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the commentary. If you did, look me up at Blaze Casting on Twitter, and of course check out beyondthesummit.tv. We'll see you guys in just a few minutes for game number 2. Same matchup here, but we'll see if Braveheart can answer back with anything more.